Guys, it's Coach Fro from RocioFlores.com, and I am chatting with you while doing chats. So today I just wanted to talk about something that came up on one of the chats. Not necessarily like, it just gave me an idea. And so I wanted to talk to you guys about it because it's something that I struggle with and that I know a lot of people struggle with. It's one of those things that I know a lot of people struggle with. Hello. Men cooking for women. Cool. I'll wave at you. I don't think I've seen your page. So I'm talking to somebody who's a student and they're struggling because they're kind of freaking out because they have to choose between two classes and they're like examining like, oh my god, if I don't choose the right thing, it's gonna like affect me, and I totally get that because, how many times have we been presented with two choices and we freaked out, because we're like, oh my god, like, whoa, if I do this, this will happen. If I do this, this will happen. And then it's so easy to just like fall into the cycle of like, oh my god, the world's going to end no matter what I do. And I get that. Trust me. That's like how I live my life. But I've learned how to like manage it in many ways. And so I just want to talk about that because I think that the immediacy of how we view these issues can cause such a huge stress in our life that doesn't have to be there. Technically, and if you understand anxiety, you understand stress, you start to learn how our bodies are they're built to manage life. Back in the day we had to manage a lot harder stuff, right? So a lot of life was like, live or die. Like if you mess this choice up, you will die, you get eaten, or you won't eat food, or etc. Hello. And so what happens is our brains are kind of wired to deal with those kind of situations. So for example, a decision that will make somebody be like, okay, so if I don't choose this, I may not get food for, or let's say they're hunting. We're gonna go back to caveman people. Can't tell you how 100% that correct is, but let's say you're a hunter, and if you don't, is pounce the right word? If you don't like grab the animal, hello. If you don't grab the animal, right, then your family doesn't eat. If your family doesn't eat, then your weakest die, which could be the people you love the most, right? And so you definitely have to make a decision. But at the same time, let's say you'll go after the animal. That animal could turn around and kill you, which means you could die. So there's a lot of processing that's going on there in your head, right? Like you're like, oh my god, this decision will either kill me or cost me to live. And so in today's society, that's exactly how we see all of our issues. So for example, choosing between two classes, you're like, oh my god, like what's gonna happen? Like if I choose this could happen. If I choose that, this could happen. For example, this person's struggling because they like writing, but they also love math. And so for example, you take entrance exams and they tell you should do this. So for example, like what I'm going to tell them, because I think a lot of the times, and this is what I want to get to, is that we don't actually have to make the choice yet. We're not even presented with that choice yet. So in the beginning, when you first start school, right, and you're trying to figure out like what classes am I going to take? Well, the first couple of years of school, and guys, it sucks to type right now. But I'm so glad I can type because I can kind of type with one hand. The first couple of years of school, you're taking just general ed. And so you don't have to be 100% set on your major. Most of these courses will apply. Hello guys. Sorry, I'm typing something. Trying to type it fast, but I only got my hand. Most of these courses apply to all degrees. So what if I told you, it's so hard, that you don't have to choose yet. how would that feel? Okay, so the reason I at the end ended up with that, how does that feel? Because a lot of the time what happens is that we genuinely believe that our, whatever it is that we're going through, that like the world's gonna end, because our body's reacting with feelings. So when we're up against one of these kind of situations, our body releases adrenaline. It starts to release other chemicals where we go into the sympathetic nervous system is triggered, and our body literally reacts with physical sensation. So you'll have emotions, and you'll also have like your heartbeat will be raced, your stomach will, like your digestion stops, like there's all these things that are physically going on. So you are genuinely feeling the fear. You are genuinely feeling what you're feeling. Like anybody who tries to tell you like, oh, you shouldn't be feeling that, or why are you freaking out? I'm sorry, but I want to be like, you know what? Screw you. Stop trying to, what's the word? Assuade people. Stop trying to like tell people that they shouldn't be feeling what they're feeling, because they have no control over it. We don't have control. Our body literally just reacts. We have a physical reaction. We don't. Hello, guys. We don't have that much of control over how we feel. What we do have control is over changing this pattern through time, so that eventually we can get to a point where we don't react that way, right? But we first have to recognize that we did react that way, okay? And so, for example, I'm letting this person know, have you thought of this? Like, did you know this? Sometimes we're just so freaking out that we don't even think of like the fact that we don't have to make a decision right now. And sometimes that's all we need, for somebody to be like, okay, wait, I have a second. And then what happens is your body will go into parasympathetic mode. It'll start to work again normally. It'll start to calm you down. And then all of a sudden you can think clearly. You're like, you know what? I don't have to choose right now. I can think about this. It's okay for me to like two things. And then you see all this world of possibilities. And the fact that you don't have to make a choice right now really helps with just then changing how you feel. And again, how you feel is just a reaction to what's going on. And so the way that we change our feelings so that we don't have this reaction all the time and freaking out all the time is by changing those patterns and of how we typically react. And so, of course, when we first start, we don't really have much control, unfortunately. And so that kind of sucks. But as we start to learn more and more about how our body reacts to stress, we can first and foremost just start recognizing it. That is the first step. Just recognize what the pattern is. Like, I realized pretty early on that I was freaking out and I was having these episodes that I couldn't control and that it sucked and I didn't know what to do. And it first took me saying, like, I think this is an issue. For then me to be like, okay, so what is this issue? Like, what am I noticing is happening? To me then seeking help and then using that help and those tools and those resources and those tips that I was given and all the information to then act on the pattern, make changes, and start to see changes. And I'm telling you, it's taking years. Like, I'm sorry, some people try to be like, oh, my life just changed in one day. They probably didn't have that big of an issue. Sorry. But here's the thing, if you're dealing with this and you're seeing this response where you freak out over things that maybe don't make so much sense, like, oh my god, you woke up 5 minutes late, now you're thinking, oh my god, I'm late, and hello, and you're like, oh my god, I'm late, so do I brush my teeth or do I eat? Your brain just goes into like something's wrong because your body went into anxiety mode, and now you can't even think straight because your brain's just trying to make a decision. And so you're not even seeing the options and recognizing that there's no issue, right? Now, acting on that issue later, you can make a decision like, okay, I know that if I wake up late, I'm going to be struggling and my brain's going to react this way. So I'm going to act on the behavior by making sure that I put my alarm earlier. Or you can act on your behavior by saying, okay, next time that I have a freak out moment, I'm going to start doing my breathing exercises. I'm going to do grounding exercises, etc. Or you can seek help, or there's so many things you can do. And I have a great resource on this. I spent a lot of time setting up these resources because it's what I give people when I'm talking to them, people are freaking out, and I just have to give them like, okay, have you learned how to do this? And a lot of the times, like I asked this person, right? I just told them, well, I want to give them a different perspective first. Just be like, well, did you know that the first few years of school, you actually don't need to choose because you're not, most of the classes are not going towards your general degree. they're not going towards any specific degree. They're going towards the general ed. And so you have time to choose. Okay? Now, how does that make him feel? Based on his response, then we can move forward to be like, okay, is this issue really about the classes, or is this issue about how he typically responds to these big major life decisions? Are there other fears going on, right? Are there fears like, I'm so concerned that I'm going to mess this up, or I'm concerned about the financial ramifications, or I'm concerned about what my parents think. And this person has actually already shared some of their fears, and so I'll be able to continue with that, right? But this is what it helps to have that third party to just kind of give you a reality check sometimes. I mean, and then just kind of check back in with you, because we can give ourselves reality checks, right? You can Google something and then somebody gives you an answer, but then all of a sudden it's just the third answer. Now you still haven't applied, like, how did that change how I feel? And was it a positive change or a negative change? Should I maybe not be doing this, or should I continue to do this? Does this typically help me? And so it helps to have somebody who is able to kind of bring you back in, check how you're feeling, check how you should move forward. And so I think it's really important that we recognize first and foremost that the feelings that you're having are perfectly valid. It is perfectly normal to have the responses that you're having to life, because that's what your body's doing. It may not be a enjoyable thing, I guess. That's why we don't like it, obviously. But it is possible for us to change these patterns in the long term and start to see change in our life that is real and meaningful. I'm telling you guys that it's possible because I'm going through it. I've been learning this stuff for years now, and I'm now seeing these. There's so little changes, but they matter, because things that in the past would have like completely broken me down just don't have that effect. The thing is that the thought's still there, so like you still get that momentary initial thought of, oh my god, the world's ending, and then you could be like, wait, no, it's not. I don't have to focus on this right now. And then you choose the tool, the tip, the technique, whatever it is that you learned to help you get through it. And so then you use that information and you work through. Next time that same issue pops up, it may not even have that negative thought associated with it, and you just act. So it's a process, it takes time, but it is so important, and it's so life-changing, and it's perfectly doable. So let me share with you guys in this next little slide once this goes up. Oh, gotta respond. Hello. So I'm just responding to them. I'm sorry. Okay, so I hate that I have to look down to type, because typically I can actually type pretty good. I type about, I don't know, 40, 50. Not like great, but good enough that I could do it with one hand. But I'm doing it much slower with one hand. I should probably try to do like a little typing test and see if I do better. But it really sucks. So I'm trying not to focus on that whole thing. And as you can see, can't do my makeup right now. Can't do my hair. Got my appointment today, and hopefully I have really good news, and like this is like the least and slowest, or what is the word, like the least difficult case, and it all goes well. I'm hoping for a miracle. I would love it if God just said, like if he just healed it, and they're like, oh my god, it's healed. That'd be awesome. So pray for me, guys. I would really appreciate that. But if there are things in your life that you're struggling with, and you're getting this response, or you have like option 1 or option 2, and you're freaking out, like that's just the best way for me to explain it. Is you freak out, you panic, you're having an anxiety attack, or you feel so confused, or so unable to see past it, send me a message. We can talk about this. I won't be able to respond for it now because I have my appointment, but I will respond later on in the evening or tomorrow. And so just, send me a message and we could talk about that issue. And then maybe we could come up with a solution, and I will share the resources. Bye! I'll share those resources because I think it really helps. It's there. I have a lot of the information. Hi, I'm doing as well as I can be right now. How are you? Yes. So, anyways, okay, I'm gonna share the resources with you guys. The stress and anxiety. It's actually bit.ly/stress anxiety resources, all lowercase. So I try to make my links a way that they're really easy for you to remember, so you just type them out rather than having to be like XYZV, something different that's hard to remember. But I will just share it. I also have it in the highlights in my actual profile. So if you go to my highlights and you go to freebies, I had a ton of resources for you guys. So make sure you go there and grab them. And my website is a resource. I do put out a lot of information about a lot of these things. So make sure that you go on there and that leave me a little smiley face or something to let me know that you've been on there, or a comment, or share your own resources that have been helpful for you. I have no problem with that. I really appreciate that. Having more is better than none. So, or is better than less. So make sure that you get on there. And thank you guys for those of you who have already reached out and said that you would pray for me. I would really, really appreciate it. Hope you have a wonderful day. I will reach out to you guys later. And if any of you guys know what to do with my hair, I would really appreciate it. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful day, okay? Goodbye. I don't know how to end this.